So this is a overview of the week to come and the kinds of things that we'll be doing and how it's organized in the website. And I'll try and keep it short and sweet. So here we are on our website, and what we're working on now is we have moved on to evaluating sources. And in evaluating sources, we're getting ready for the next assignment, which is essentially an annotated bibliography, in which you're going to be choosing something that you're genuinely interested in, something that you want to know about, that will be the topic of your research. And so this first section that we're doing is we're working on evaluating quality sources. And then in the next, and that'll be this essay, and then the next essay is going to be collecting a whole bunch of sources that are all quality sources and annotating those sources. And then after that, we'll be moving on to the research report. So this is just the beginning of a longer process. So in our first process is we have to work on collecting, evaluating, and communicating information, which means finding good sources. And one way that you can evaluate sources is with the CRAP test. Is it current? Is it relevant? Is it accurate? Does the person who wrote it have the authority to actually write about this? And what is the purpose? Are you selling something to me? Are you trying to convince me of a certain idea? That kind of thing. This is a quick preview. I included a cartoon that, if it's in the cartoons, it's a topic that is of worth. And so we've got the objectives, which we generally skip over unless you're interested. And what we're doing this week, getting ready for next Tuesday, is today I'm hoping, and I see that they're still kind of coming in, that the ePortfolio shell with the home and about filled out are coming up, and that you've done your first journal posting. So I see that those are still kind of coming in. They were due at 9 a.m. Last week I was really flexible about due dates. I'm hoping that they're coming in by the end of the day, so we'll fudge on this one, but these are pretty firm as we go through. So the due dates are firming up as we get better, as we're working through the course. So you'll have a blog posting this afternoon by tomorrow morning at 9, and then you'll respond to someone's blog posting. I hope that you'll be able to read chapter 22, which talks about assessing sources. You'll respond to two colleagues. And then by next Tuesday, there's a 1,000-word essay. And 1,000 words is about 2 pages, more or less, in a 12-point font with 1-inch margins. And a reflection on that writing. So we'll talk more about that as we go. You'll see more about that as we go through. Here are some resources to help you out in assessing the sources that you're looking at. Factcheck.org, Snopes.com, and PolitiFact.com are three sources that are 3 sites that will help you be able to take a look at news events that are controversial, and it does the research for you, which is really nice. This is the Breaking News Consumer's Handbook. It has lots of excellent ways that you can evaluate the stories that you're seeing. This is a little lecture on how to spot fake news, and here's me researching some information that I found online that I was very suspicious of, and I wanted to see where did this come from? Was it real or not? And so I just did a little video of me doing that with the questions that I asked myself. So this week, this afternoon, I'd like you to post a source for your essay on the designated blog. And so this gives you more insight on how to do that. And then I'd like you to watch the 2 lectures and read chapter 22 before you respond to a colleague, evaluating your colleague's source. And then here's the essay explanation, and then here's the reflection that you need to do. So here is a link to the blog. Here's a link to chapter 22. I hope it's working for you. Let me know if it isn't. A response to your colleague, and a place where you can submit the draft of your explanation of the credible source that you found for your site. And it explains how you put it. You'll be submitting it here and putting it on your website at the same time with this little reflection. And this tells me that your reflection is up, so I can go and read it. So that's the progress of the assignments. Now, backing up a little bit, so I was looking at the ePortfolios, and here are some that are looking particularly good. Here's a nice classic Google site. This is Olivia King, And here's her nice introduction and her about me with a nice picture on it. We also have Jessica's, and here's her homepage, nice quote, and then her about that's got her picture and her commentary on the about. This would be Ariana's. So here's her nice homepage. Woohoo, a book can be your best friend. And her about. So she's chosen to show her workspace instead of a personal picture, which is fine. Here we are at Tiffany's. Tiffany has chosen to give us pictures of her family, which is lovely. Here's our homepage. Any person that keeps working is not a failure. Yay! Brent has gone into design mode, so we have this beautiful peak. And woo, where am I going? I'm going to about me. And a wonderful piece of creative writing for the about page. And this is Sierra. Here's Sierra's quote and her welcome, as well as her lovely about me, charming little picture. Here's Jennifer, with a lovely contemplative photo and her about, and her home, writing to share her sacred truth. And where else do we have? We have Landon, who's putting her pictures into the headers, which is perfectly fine. Really lovely, nice way to create the site. So these are really good examples of how you'll be putting your site together. So you'll notice this is our class site, and there are a couple of links that I don't have yet. So if you haven't sent me a link to your web page, please do so as soon as you can. Now, on our website, there are nope, that's not what I want to talk. I want to talk about this. So here we have, I'm going to make this smaller as we work through it. So this week we've taken a look at the portfolios. Check your grades to make sure that what's going on is what you think is going on, and making sure I don't miss things, because sometimes I'll grade it and Blackboard will not show the grade appropriately. So do keep an eye on checking your grade. And the submission paths are always below the activities. On Chapter 22, the purpose of evaluating these sources is for the research report, because we're going to do a literature review. And a literature review is a standard thing where you talk about what people have said about something before. And so it's a really valuable thing to have. Now, in comparing sources, is it going to let me do it? I think it might. When you're evaluating sources online, you going to take me there? I guess I'll have to go there all by myself. So when you go to these places, one of the things that can be, you have to take a general look. So if we go to the Onion, you should be able to tell that this is a satire site, but some people get confused and think it's real. But you can tell it's satire by the titles. Nation gets really tired all of a sudden. Callaway 9 Iron once again named Golf Digest's best club for smashing in cheating ex's windshield. You can tell pretty much that this is satire by the titles. So it's good to have a certain point to be sensitive to reading the titles of what you're looking at. Here is an interesting piece of news that was a little strange. So I'm looking at this site from Z News in India. Will Earth experience 15 days of total darkness in November? Is that possible? Huh. So here's a picture of the Earth. So in New Delhi, it's saying, I've read this type of story before about the Earth plunging into total darkness. So according to a website, look out for that. A website? Whose website? What's your source where you got this information? The U.S. Space Agency, NASA, has confirmed that the Earth will experience 15 days of total darkness. That's not right. Look, now it's telling me the site. On the 14th of July, the website Newswatch 33, a fake news site, published an article titled, wait a minute, it just said it was a fake news site. And it says that NASA, it hasn't happened for a million years. Wait, back up. You're telling me this and now you're reporting on it? So I'm really interested in what NASA actually had to say. So I want to look back at this, and I'm reading this crazy stuff, and I want to see what NASA actually has to say about this. So I'm going to look for this. At nasa.gov. As 2012 draws to a close, many websites, books, and cable television shows are predicting the end of the world. Oh, it's talking about the end of the world on that one. Widespread rumors about a catastrophe. Oh, they're getting email about this. The Mayan calendar. Oh, Nibiru, it's talking about that. Terrible damage. Oh, so this is interesting. This is NASA talking about all the email they've gotten about doomsday, and NASA is reporting on that. So it's also reporting on how the 15 days of darkness are not going to happen. NASA has confirmed that. Don't believe the fake news sites. So it's always worth it when you're reading something to ask yourself, is this really true? So some of the fact-checking sites that can be helpful to you are Snopes, PolitiFact, Fact Check, and the Pew Research Center. But it's also good to take sentences from the article and type them in so that you can say, I'm not sure this is true. Let me look this up. So one other site that I find really helpful for news that helps me research these things is Aussie.com, just in terms of news. So on news, I'm going to look at the Presidential Daily Brief. And here we have the the information about Houston. And so this is just a report, but over here it tells me the sources that they came from. So I can look this up in the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Houston Chronicle, so I can see what these different sources and sites have said about this. And so I have Reuters, CNN, CNBC. So it's really interesting to read the different perspectives, and that's why I like Aussie News. So as we come back this week, I'm hoping you can fill out your ePortfolio shell. Don't forget that journal posting by the end of today. You're going to post one of your sources that you think you'd like to do. Read MindTap 22, Chapter 22. Respond explaining why the source is good or bad to your colleagues who have posted in the blog. And then you'll be writing up a 1,000-word essay that's due next Tuesday that talks about how you evaluated the particular source that you are interested in. Again, if you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. Send me an email and I'm happy to talk about it.